Hey baddie, it's Felix and welcome back to my YouTube channel. And in today's video, we're gonna be teaching you how to do an FFS with makeup, basically an ultimate makeup tutorial if you're trans or if you wanna look just more feminine with makeup. I have years of experience and I've basically gone through a lot of trial and errors to get to this. And yeah, we're gonna show you. Before we get into this video, make sure to like, subscribe, and click that notification bell so you're gonna be notified the next time I upload a brand new video for you. And it helps me and my channel and this video in particular so much. So without further ado, let's get into this tutorial. Oh my god, I have no makeup. And your first and most important step is definitely skincare and skin prep for makeup specifically. I found that Bobbi Brown's vitamin C serum and moisturizer work with almost all makeup products, all foundations, and it really preps your skin for all of those layers of makeup. It gives your skin hydration and it adds to the longevity of your whole makeup. So serum first, and I'm quite generous with the amount. Maybe that was a little too much, honestly. Wait for your skincare product to soak into your skin and then apply the moisturizer. If you shave, definitely be more generous with the amount on that area because this is the area that tends to get drier and it really needs to be moisturized for your foundation, for your complexion to look absolutely flawless. Before we enroll on this makeup journey, you have to make sure that the basics are right. And one thing that tremendously changes your face shape, your facial structure, and helps with feminizing your face is definitely brows. And if your brows are nicely shaped, nicely trimmed, it makes a whole lot of difference. With me, because I have hooded eyes, also I don't have a huge space between my brow and my eye. Shaping is crucial, especially when I try to feminize my face. So this is my tip to you. And now the next step and the last step of your skin prep is primer. The primer you want to use is something that's going to hydrate, especially your 5 o'clock shadow if you have it, if you haven't done your laser treatments or you cannot afford it, whatever the case may be. A good primer, hydrating primer, will help tremendously. And on top of all of the moisturizers that we've used, this is gonna be your holy grail. And this is the Power Grip Primer by e.l.f. It's my favorite. It's a drugstore product, so it's gonna be very affordable for you if you don't have it already. And it's gonna change your makeup game in a sense of your makeup performance throughout the day. So it will last, it won't streak. You're gonna keep the coverage because of this essential step. Quite generous with the amount. And now you don't want to smear the product, you want to tap the product into your skin, onto your skin. So just use tapping motions. And because my T-zone is slightly oily, I tend to focus the product first on my T-zone or on my nose. Really make sure you go into all of the creases of your face, forehead, and don't forget your neck. Neck is so important, and you want foundation. This is funny, this sounds funny, also on your neck, so don't forget that. Through time and experience, I've noticed that the orange color corrector in fact doesn't perform well over time of your makeup wear. So it actually comes up like, let's say in 3, 4, 5 hours, and it's not a good look. So we're gonna use a different technique and also one that's realistic. It's gonna look good in a few hours or many hours. So foundation first, and I love a natural coverage to even out the skin tone, especially if you have prominent masculine features. I recommend less is more, and this is what we're doing today. We're creating that soft illusion, and we're starting off with that illusion with foundation already. One product I've discovered recently that works and performs very well is the L'Oreal True Match foundation. This foundation is very lightweight on your skin, it performs very well, and it's just a beautiful complexion product. I always recommend applying your foundation on the back of your hand, then taking a damped beauty sponge, not a wet one, a damped beauty sponge. You want to cover and basically tap your foundation on the back of your hand. With this, you're activating the formula, and while you're going to distribute the product on your face, on your canvas, which is blank, you're going to have an even application. Important tip, always start in the center of your face, working your way to the outside of your face, where the coverage gets sheerer and sheerer. But in this case, our 5 o'clock shadow, our beard area, has to have coverage, but we're going to get to that later. So now just start in the center. And now work your way down. I'm gonna add a little bit more. Now I'm starting in the center on my mustache area, and I'm just working my way outwards. Also, you don't want to forget the neck. You have to apply your foundation on your neck for that perfect feminine result. Now that your skin tone looks nice and even and very healthy because of this product, it's time for contouring. And contouring plays a crucial part in feminizing your face. So let's create a few categories. If you have a fuller face, a rounder face, you want to use contour. You want to use cool tone shades so you create an illusion of a more structured face, structured cheekbones, and more of a defined jaw. Now the second category is if your face is not quite full, but it's not skinny. So you're somewhere in the middle. I would say this is my category. So I have some definition going on and I have some fullness going on, but it's not either. And in this case, we're doing bronzing. So we're using cream bronzers and we're using contour, but contour very strategically and not a lot. Now, if you have a face that doesn't have a lot of facial fat, you're in the beginning of your journey and you really do not want to use contour. You just want to use bronzer because in that case, you really are trying to make your face appear even softer and more feminine. So avoid contours at all costs. I'm gonna start off with my all-time favorite, and I'm sure this is gonna be your favorite too if you haven't tried it already, and it's the Chanel Cream Bronzer. As you can see, girl, I've used majority of this product, so I definitely need to go and repurchase. And you wanna take a contour brush like so, dip into the product, and now the placement is of course crucial in this case. I recommend you follow your natural anatomy, but I want you to go slightly higher than your natural cheekbone. So you feel your cheekbone, it's right here, but then you want to go about ½ inch higher, and you just start placing the product, and you stop about 1 inch away from your mouth corner. So right here, you want to go towards your temple. So in this case, everything will look very cohesive, very natural, and very lifted and awake and feminine. A very useful tip is you focus the majority of the product on the perimeter of your cheekbones, on the perimeter of your face, and then you're working your way out. You use less and less product. This way, once you're gonna blend it out, you're gonna have less work and it's gonna be faster and easier for you tremendously. So now the next step would be your forehead. Because this is a fresh set of hair, a freshly washed wig, and I do it all by myself. I don't want to, I don't want to ruin the lace. So just imagine I would paint my temples and connect them to my cheekbone area. Now, the next step after that would be your eyelids. And because we want a feminine look, makeup has to look very cohesive and harmonized. So I just apply this same product all over my eyelid. And I'm gonna go slightly on my temples, right here. And now this is basically our orange color corrector. You can go all over your mustache area with the bronzer. And same on your 5 o'clock shadow and under your jaw. So you're adding definition. With warm tones, you are getting rid of gray tones, which may occur if you have a beard. Now your next step is your nose contour. And nose contour makes a whole hell of a difference, for real. And if you have like a more of a prominent nose, a bigger nose contour will be your life savior. But I really want to emphasize that if with contouring, your nose appears bigger or you're not that secure with your technique, if you're just starting out, don't worry, you'll get there. But I would not do nose contour if you're not confident, because of course I would try it out and I would practice and practice and practice. But if you're not sure, sometimes you can do the opposite. I remember back then when I had my old nose, I used to contour my nose, and because my nose had a bump and it was very aristocratic, and also I had like a slim nose, so I would just make it appear longer because it was longer, but I made it appear even more long, and I was not doing my face any justice. I look more masculine with contour than without contour. So in that case, I focused to add brightness in your inner corner, in your under eye area and around your nose. So you don't have attention on your nose, but you have your attention like under your eyes and on your eyelids. And this is my tip. But if you feel like you know what you're doing, honey boo, take a small brush, dip into the bronzer. And also, if you don't know what you're doing, this is your start. This is where you're starting. This is where you're learning. That's why you're here. And thank you for watching this video. And then you want to start in the beginning of your brow and just connect it to the tip of your nose and make sure the lines are very narrow so they don't have like a lot of space in between them. And as you're able to tell, we're only using one product, which is the cream bronzer, for our whole face. For the majority of our face, we're using this. Isn't that amazing? It's not that hard, but you just have to practice and you'll get there for sure, I promise. Now take the same damn beauty sponge that we've used before, and you want to start with your cheekbones, but on this part, because you don't want this to look muddy or too masculine, because you don't want a lot of product here. You take the sponge and you start here. Then you go to the other side. You start there. Also, the forehead has to look natural. So start blending the forehead and temples. Then you want to move to the rest of your cheekbones and blend everything out. Then you want to blend your nose contour. This is actually very mindful what I'm doing, because I'm saving the lower third of our faces, your face, for last, because we want to keep as much warmth as possible. And because you have some product built up on the beauty sponge, this is amazing to now blend your lip contour and your jawline. Okay, I hope you can see it coming together. Now, another step that's also so crucial and yet so fun is blush. And we have the same category. So category number 1, a fuller face. I recommend applying blush on the top of your cheekbone, on the perimeter of the face. Focus the product there, because it's gonna lift your face. It's gonna make it appear much slimmer, and it's just gonna work the best for your face shape. Now, category number 2 is basically a technique joining category number 1 and category number 3, which is applying your blush, your liquid blush, on the apples of your cheeks and then dragging it all the way to your temples. And now category number 3, you really wanna add that fullness to your face. You want to add the illusion of a softer appearance. So you want to focus the majority of the product on the apples of your cheeks. And this is really going to create that illusion of a softer appearance. My number 1 product is this one by Rare Beauty in shade Hope. Always has been, always will be. And I start applying it right here in the center. And then I take some more and I go all over to the temple. This is how it should look like a letter C almost. I also love to use some in my under area, like so. So this is gonna lift my face, and it's also gonna get rid of any discoloration on your under eye area if you have some purple going on. At the same time, it's gonna give you that soft baby doll appearance, which is the goal. Now, I love to take my blush and apply it on the top of my cupid's bow, underneath, and then on my chin. And blush is also gonna help you to get rid of any kind of gray undertones, like so. If you have more of a longer face, I recommend applying your blush in the middle of your nose. This is gonna make it shorter and it's gonna help it tremendously. Now, same drill, you wanna take your beauty sponge and we are starting off on our cheeks, then we're going to our nose, and then the last we're doing and blending our chin. And now it's time for your concealer. I love to use the L'Oreal Infallible. It's full coverage. And this is also where you're gonna go a little bit heavier with your coverage. And I just mix these two shades to have a perfect shade. So I first go in with the darker shade, more of an orangey undertone shade, and I apply it right here and around my nose, like so. On my chin, like so, around my mouth corners, right here in my inner corner, a little bit on the outer edge to lift your eye, like so. This is gonna lift your eye. And you really wanna focus the brightness in the center of your face to optically create an illusion so the observer's eye will go to the center, to your eye. A little bit on the forehead, not too much. Now I take a brighter shade and I really wanna add brightness right here. So like so. And right here a little bit, and right here just a tiny bit. And now, because we've used creams, your eyes are going to be very simple to make them appear big and feminine. And now I just take the concealer and I place it in my inner corner like so. So I basically connect the under eye to my inner corner. Gonna take a beauty sponge and I'm gonna start on the bottom actually, because I want to keep that orange undertones happening. Now I'm blending the outer edges, also the outer edges on my eyelid. While I'm blending, I'm basically trying to go inwards towards my nose contour and also being very mindful and precise that I clean up the nose contour so I make it nice and sharp while I do that, okay? So I basically drag it like so to make the shape happen. And then I blend it. And now the next step is your nose. Whatever is left on the tip of your sponge, I just go down and I create this kind of a straight line. I mean, I try. This is already coming together. Now, what I'm missing is some more blush. I'm gonna go in with this intense pink color by She Glam, a very, very affordable product. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit right here like so. Important step, we're of course gonna set this with powder, but before you do that, you want to take a setting spray, not a fixing spray. For example, Max Fix Plus is a multitasking spray, but I would say it's more of a fixing spray. So you have Max Fix Plus, this is a fixing spray. Setting sprays are truly a product that will set your makeup in place, make it more long lasting, and really lock in the product, make it more durable, and enable you a great long wear. As a fixing spray, it is great in between when you use powders to make your glam look more natural and to melt the powders with creams, but this is gonna give your makeup that durability. So I want you to take your setting spray and drench your face with a setting spray, especially on your lower third of your face, because this is where you wanna have your coverage for hours and hours. But also everywhere else. Who am I kidding, honey? Who am I kidding? And now setting powder, loose powders, however you call them, are crucial, and only a few have an amazing formula. And I'm gonna recommend only what I truly believe in and what I've used for years now, and I just know and I'm confident that it works. And this is Huda Beauty. I always do my under eyes first, so this is how I apply it. And you want to take a powder palette for the seamless under eye. So this is from Amazon, literally like, I don't know, $5 for 10 of these. And I want to coat my powder puff with the product. Then you want to take your hand and you want to press it onto your hand so you get rid of excess powder. In the meantime, if you got any creasing going on, you want to take the same beauty sponge and you just want to tap over the area that it creased. Look up, go over, and then immediately take the powder puff and start pressing the powder into your skin. This is crucial. You have to be very fast. So have everything ready before you do that. And then I'm going into the middle of my forehead because I like it matte. You do what floats your boat. And around my nose. This is where I'm quite generous with the product. I really go in there. Really press it. The same thing you and me did with our creams. I mean our liquid concealer. We're doing with powder. We're taking more powder and doing the same straight line in the middle of our noses and going around right here, really cutting everything. And then I set my chin and whatever is left on your powder puff, which is not a lot, just go over your lower third of your face. If you have oily skin, you can let that sit and simmer for a hot minute, but I have dry skin, so I need to act quite quickly, okay? So the next step and the most crucial step is pressed powder. This is by Charlotte Tilbury, and I truly believe that only this combo works. I have tried other pressed powders, but you know, the effect is just not the same. This is where you're gonna get that blurred baby doll Kim Kardashian photoshopped under eyes. You take the pressed powder, you take a powder brush, and you dust off the excess powder with this powder. Honey, this is gonna change your life. I swear. Promise. See how this is more blurred and just perfect than this side? Oh my god, this is obsessed. I'm obsessed with this. Same with the chin, around here. And whatever is left, I just go over my blush. But I don't dip back to the product. Don't forget your forehead, sweetie. If you feel like you want to add more brightness to your under eye, feel free. This is what I'm going to show you. You want to take a brighter shade. This is by MAC. This is the Studio Fix powder. This is a very bright shade for my complexion right now. Take the brush, but I focus it more here, around my nose. Like so. Then I just blend it downwards. A little bit right here. Then I take a flat brush, which I would use for my eyeshadow, dip into the powder, and connect it to the inner corner and basically cut my crease with whatever is on the brush and follow that guideline we did before with cream. So this is basically just going over with powders and to emphasize the illusion and the shapes we did before, and this is really gonna help with the whole look tremendously. Like I love to go in the center of my nose to add brightness. And with this brush I can be more precise and clean up that nose contour real good, honey. Real good, sister. Clean off my mouth corners. Going back with this brush to blend it out ever so slightly. And now this is where the MAC Fix Plus, which is a fixing spray, comes into play, because right now it looks a little bit powdery and chalky, and this is gonna melt the powder, but we're still gonna be left off with the illusion and the work we did right now, but it's just gonna look less powdery. Your complexion part is all complete. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more blush, take a powder blush and go over with a very slight pressure and like a big blush brush like that one right here that I'm holding. But now we're gonna do eyes, and we're not gonna do much because you don't want to look like a drag queen. And if you're a drag queen and if you're watching this, go ahead and do more, honey. Honestly, do more because you know what you're doing. But if you want to look more feminine and for every day, if you're not like a full glam girly, and if you have smaller eyes like I have, you don't want to add too much makeup. So what we're going to do is we're going to create an illusion of a more of a lifted eye We're gonna open them up and we're gonna add definition. And yeah, so let's go. Now it's time for your eyes. We're gonna go simple, and a good liner is the way to go. This eyeliner pencil by Kiko Milano is everything. I'm obsessed. It is pitch black, it is waterproof, and it's gonna last for days. And I truly am obsessed. So you just wanna tight line your eye. And now for the eyeliner, you don't wanna go ahead and draw on your eyelid. You wanna follow your natural anatomy of your eye. So what I do is I go right here, I extend it like so, and then I take a brush. Something like that is more than fine. And then I just extend it ever so slightly, like that. Then I go and make it more pointy, and then I just connect it like so. And I go slightly over to like hide the lashes we're gonna use later. And now I'm doing the same with my inner corner. I'm gonna make like a little point to make it more feminine, more feline. And I cannot talk when I do this. And if I have to scrunch off camera, you know, I just had to. I'm sorry. Okay, this is how it looks like. I added a little bit right here to connect that and to basically lift my eye. I'm gonna do the same on the other side, and I'm actually gonna add lashes because this is impossible to do on camera, at least for me personally, so I'm very sorry about that. But what I'm using are these half lashes from Shein. They were about like $1.50 for a pair of 12 or 10, it's insane. And what this type of lash does is basically, it adds volume and dimension and length on your outer edge, but it still doesn't look like you're wearing falsies. It looks like it could be your natural lash, honestly. And they're very short at the beginning, which help with that illusion of creating your lashes look very natural. So I'm gonna do that and I'm gonna come right back. The eyes are done. I added falsies, did the eyeliner, and added a mascara lower and bottom lash line. And I've actually used this product from MAC. This is a dry shampoo mascara. It's a new product. I honestly discovered it today when I got it in PR. This is like supposed to revive your lashes after a long wear of your mascara. Just apply it, but I've used it as a mascara and it's actually really, really good, especially for lower lashes because it doesn't clump them. It actually separates them because of this amazing brush. So I've used this and I love it. Now, the next step is actually your brows. You really want to try to match your brow color to your wig or to your new hair, whatever. And because I have dark and more of a cool toned brown, I'm using a brown mascara. I'm actually not adding any gel because I like them thin to feminize my face. And I just go over. I start at the edge to define that area. And then whatever is left, I just bring it to the front like so. And this is way more defined and feminine, and it also adds color. And voila, this looks so much better. And now it's time for your last step, which are your lips. I do have filler, so I'm just gonna line my lips. And I love, this is a personal choice completely. Whatever lip shape suits you best, you choose your lip liner, your lip combo. And I always love a good gloss. But I'm just gonna go in with my regular, you know, brown lip liner and my brown nudish lipstick. I think both is MAC. And then I'm just gonna tie everything together with a gloss from Too Faced, which is actually lip oil. And yeah. Hello! This is the finished look. I really want to know if this video was helpful. Don't forget that you don't need makeup to look how you feel. So yeah, if this video was helpful in any kind of way, make sure to subscribe to my channel and click that notification bell so you won't miss out on my next upload. And don't forget that you're the baddest baddie, and I'll see you in my next one.